Hi, guys. Welcome to our Marketplace Daily Devotion. Lady Trice here, and it is Wednesday, July the 21st. And so I just want to thank you and welcome you to our daily Marketplace Devotion. So come on in and let's take a break. It's about 11:20. I've been up this morning just doing some testing because I'm coming into my busy season for healthcare insurance. Many of you may know I do have an insurance agency, and so one of my busy times of the year is during the Medicare Advantage during open enrollment seasons. And so before that time, we have to do quite a bit of state certifications and things, and so I have been just swamped all month with trying to get those things in. So I haven't been able to post every day, and then again have this is summer, so guess what? Baby boomers, a lot of us have our grandchildren that are visiting and are and that are staying with us, and so I have a couple of my grandkids here. They're teenagers. Oh wow, how fast time flies. They're 13 and 14, and one of the things that I like to do, as what I did with my children when they were little, I like to take time in prayer with them, Bible study, getting up in the mornings, just, when I was younger and my children was little, I would have them all, like my mom did with me, come around the bed and kneel down and pray. And so now that they're all grown, I don't get the opportunity to do that with them much. So whenever the grandchildren come over, I like to do whatever I can to impart, going through the Bible stories, just to impart good morals and just virtues. And so I hope that if you're not doing that, that maybe you think about doing that when your grandchildren come around, because listen, that is something that is priceless and it is valuable. And that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about things that are valuable to God. Sometimes the things that we think are valuable are not what's valuable to God. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that today on this daily devotion. So let's get started. Our scripture reading is going to be coming from Proverbs, the 11th chapter and the 28th verse. And so we're going to be, as we always do on these daily devotions, we start the verse before and we read the verse after our key verse. And so that's going to be, and I'm going to do this today in the King James Version and the Message Version. And so the King James read Proverbs, the 11th chapter, starting at the 27th, the 28th, and 29th. I'm going to read. It says, "He that diligently seek good procureth favor. But he that seeketh mischief, it shall come unto him." So if you seek good, good will come to you. But if you're seeking trouble, hey, you don't have to ever go looking for trouble. It will find you sooner or later. So why go looking for it? The 28th verse, this is our key verse, says, "He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch." And then our 29th verse says, "He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind." Okay? And the fools shall be servants to the wise of heart. Let me just read that again. "He that troubleth his own house." Sometimes we have families where just within your own family, you have siblings who are always stirring up trouble, who's always causing discord. Here is the word of God for you, for those members right there. It says, "He that troubleth his own house." So, and it's not just, people who live directly in the house with you, but people who are within your family, first and second cousins, your sisters and aunties and all that, that maybe is always in your business. Maybe they in your house and in your business and they shouldn't be, or in your marriage and they shouldn't be. The Bible says when two come together, when a man and a woman comes together, when the two come together, they become as one. Not when the two comes together, and of course they're getting all type of outside advice from family members and all of that. It says they leave mother and father, and they leave and they cleave. They leave and they cleave. And so a lot of times, because of what we're hearing and the advice that we're getting from outside of the family and outside of our house is what's causing issues within our house. But the Bible here says, when he troubleth his own house, when you have people within the home or within, your close relatives that are causing issues, the Bible tells us that when that happens, it says that he that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind. He shall inherit the wind. Now, let me just read that real quick in the Message Bible, because you know how I like how things read a lot of times in the Message, because it makes it a lot clearer. And so let's just make sure 11th chapter of Proverbs and the 27th verse says, the one who seeks good find delight. The student of evil becomes evil. The student of evil becomes evil. A life devoted to good to things, a life devoted to things is a dead life. A life devoted, let me just read that again, to things. When you're always devoting your time to material things, material gain, that's all you think about is, and a lot of times, many times that shows and us working all the time, working, trying to gain more, trying to keep up with the Joneses. We spend our life, getting in debt, trying to have the best car, the best house, the best this, the best that, trying to keep up with others. It says a life devoted to things is a dead life, a stump. Listen at that, dear hearts. Listen, are you one that's always trying to get, and never one that's trying to give? If you look in your checkbook or you look at your ATM bank statement or whatever, how much of that is you giving to help others? Are you gaining for yourself? It's a stump, God calls it. You're becoming a stump. Your life is becoming a stump. It says a God-shaped life is a flourishing tree. When your life is surrounded by doing godly things, when you invite God in your life, in your plans, in your goals, then you're like a flourishing tree. Oh my God, you gotta get this. You can't live your life every day, trying to just gain selfishly, just all the time trying to get for yourself. It's all about you, yourself, and no one else. You got to spend your life asking God, what is it that I could be doing to fulfill my purpose that you have put in me? What is it? It says a life devoted to things is a dead life, a stump, but a God-shaped life is a flourishing tree. Exploit or abuse your family. Now, this was that verse in the King James that was saying, "He that troubleth his own house." Here in the Message, it says, exploit or abuse your family and end up with a fistful of air. Common sense tells you it's a stupid way to live. Exploit. There are many family members who prey on each other. Prey, Prey, on each other, exploiting them, taking them for granted. I have a rule that I use, and I've raised my children with this. I have, Miss Lady Odessa, I have a lot of, I have 5 children. I've raised them, and many of you know my children. Eliseo Way, he does the content eco, on YouTube, and Juanita Coley, my daughter, she has, her business. You see a lot of the call center chronicles and things that she do, and then I have a few other kids, Diesel the barbecue, Papa Diesel's barbecue. These are my children. Well, one of the values and one of the things that I've instilled in them, even even when they were coming up and they were little, and I would give them little jobs. I remember when Eliseo and Miguel, my oldest son, when they were little, and oh wow, they were so young, and they wanted to do something to start their own little business. And so I told them to start a lawnmower, a lawn service. And they were, I don't even know if they were teenagers. They might have been 10 or 11. And I went and purchased them this little lawnmower from a pawn shop, a used pawn shop, a used lawnmower. And I made them up some little business cards and made them up, some little flyers. And they wanted to do something to help buy their school clothes for the next year, because they didn't quite like what mommy was picking out. And at that time we were very, we wasn't, we didn't have money like that. A lot of clothing I would get probably from the Goodwill, and they didn't like that. So that year they wanted to start their own business. And let me tell you, in that summer they must have earned and raised about $600, just going around cutting yards for $10 here, $20 there. And they were able, I was able to go and take them shopping and buy them some nice things that summer. And so I've instilled in them, that you got to know your worth, you got to know your value, and you have to, just because you're a family member. My children, they're in business. When I go to my son Diesel, to get barbecue, many times he wants, here mom, I'm gonna give this to you, and I still say, hey, this is what you do for a living. Thank you, but here, I don't want you, every now and again, now maybe once every blue moon, I mean very rare, I will allow him to just give me, when it's something that he does for a living, I will allow him to just give it to me. But I pay them if they're doing a service for me. My daughter, Juanita, who has the business consulting, if she's, or taxes, if she is doing something for me in the way of consulting or taxes, I pay her just like a customer. I don't take advantage of her because she has a business in that area. I don't exploit what she does. I don't take advantage of her. And listen, you have people who do this all the time, not just with family members, but with people in the church. We abuse, our privileges. Someone can be nice and they give you one step and you just take a mile. Extending, an arm, and you just try to cut it off. They open up their house and extend, because you don't have anywhere to stay, or you don't, have anywhere to go, and they open up your house and extend you 30 days worth of living, or 2 weeks worth of living, and you come there and you don't even offer to give them anything, or you don't even offer to help out or pay, and so we have people that do this to each other all the time. But you know what? You can't allow people to do that to you, and you shouldn't do that to other people. So the things, like I said, talking about what's valuable to God, respect, love, honesty, doing what is right. Those are the qualities and the values that are valuable to God, and we should not take advantage of each other and of people just because they're family members. I even remember when my daughter would do hair, and I would want her to, put me some weave in or do my hair. I would still pay her just like I was going out to a beautician. And so we, can't allow, even if they say, hey, you don't have to do it, still offer something. Offer a tip at least. You tip people at least when you go out to restaurants and they do things for you. So learn not to abuse people and exploit people's gifts and talents and what they have, and not be grateful for the things that they do for you. Learn not to be that way. Always be grateful. No one has to ever do anything for you at all. Always be appreciative. Always be grateful. Always be thankful for what anybody gives you or offer you or do for you. And so with that being said, I'm going to just read. Oh, wow. I just really went over this time. I haven't even read the little story today. But let me just get into the story. It says here, a certain rich man died, and the question was asked at his funeral, how much did he leave? He left it all, came the reply. Often I hear someone introduced this way. This is Bob, and he works for such and such. As if where a person works or what a person does determines his or her value. I have noticed it is usually only the well-to-do or those who are thought of as successful who are introduced this way. Yet, God does not judge us by our success. He loves each person the same. Thank God for that. Your value and mine did not come from what we do, the clothes we wear, the house we live in, or the type of car that we drive. Our value comes from the fact that God made us and loves us, and Christ died for us. Our value comes from the fact that He adopted us into His family. Christ, He adopted us into His family. And we are not His children forever, and we are now His children forever. Don't depend on possessions or position for your identity. Get your identity from Christ. You are of infinite worth to Him. Get your identity from Christ, for you are of infinite worth and value to Him. So the thought that I want to leave with you today is, how do you identify yourself? Think about it. It's one of those questions that go, I like to do this little pose because I'm thinking. It's based on something that can change in a moment. Is it based? Is how you value yourself based on something that can change? Is how you value yourself based on your beauty? What if you're in an accident and you're forever scarred? Is your value of yourself based on your shape? What if something happens and you become ill, or you develop a thyroid and gained a lot of weight, or become ill and lost a lot of weight? Would you think less of yourself? Is your value based on your marital status? Because you marry somebody maybe that is a prominent figure, or your job. Seek your identity in the unchanging love of God, because He loves you. He says in His word that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and He loves you. So seek your identity in Him and learn to value others and yourself. Okay? I'm not going to say like yourself, because some of us don't value ourselves. I value myself, but some people don't. So I can't say value others as you value yourself, because you may not value yourself. But learn to value others and yourself the way God values us. And until tomorrow, smooches.